Hate the players, hate the game. Every amount of pleasure comes with the same amount of pain. How we doing, guys? This is Relly P with the guys from Always Compete, a Seahawks podcast, and this is Doh The Pain. And since we got two Seahawks fans here, well, I'm going to start off lightly. And listen, Sam has been a very good sport, Connecticut native, DeFran. I'm going to go light as possible. I'm not sure if he'll need heart medication, a sick bucket, or I'm not sure if
Thank you.
he's going to need therapy. But
Thank
we
you.
will do our very best to make sure that this guy is not going to leave here in. Make sure he's not unwell. Let's put it that way. So,
Yeah.
DeFran, as a human being, how are you?
As a human being, I am doing great right now. I got the hospital on speed dial just in case, we get a little too deep in the subject, trigger some old memories, but, I'm good to go. Taking precautionary measures, and I'm ready to do this.
I think Sam's a little more chill because just about 5 minutes ago, I had him go on a stopwatch, and he was ranting about Kevin Durant. And I was thinking 60 seconds, but he was so far into it. I said, "Keep going." I gave him another minute.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this. I asked this when you guys had a Q&A, but I'd say the NFL offseason is never boring. Now, I think the biggest offseason that wasn't a complete bloodbath. Well, I knew that you guys were suffering a little bit, but I'll just go out and say it on a whim. DeFran, I'm going to give you the floor first.
hmm
As a whole, claims, find out it was bullshit or whatever. To me, this was a topic related to when Jay-Z and Beyonce were breaking up and it was all bullshit, which, by the way, fun fact, a guy I used to work with drove the tour bus for Jay-Z for a while. And those
Oh,
two
wow.
travel in different tour buses from what I saw the photos
Wow.
of them. And the reason why they actually have their families and them travel in different tour buses is because it's too Hollywood.
Mm.
Like it's one of those things where it's just like, hey, your agent says to spend X amount of time with your wife or something like that. I mean, it's just, I couldn't even imagine.
Right.
But this is a Hollywood Russell Wilson this offseason. I'm just going to call him Hollywood Russell.
hmm
Okay. Celebrity wife, thinks he's pimping at times, my party, my camp. So,
Right.
it's coming. As a whole, with the Russell Wilson drama, how did this make you feel as a fan?
Um, I can't say I was ever, I never really pushed the panic button. I talked to Sam about this. We knew that Russell Wilson wasn't going anywhere. We were fairly confident with that. But I think the fact that he spoke out was kind of eyebrow raising because he hadn't really done that up to that point. But I can't say that I was ever really concerned that he was going to get traded. I figured he was just kind of
I think you're a
leveraging it.
liar, but all right.
No, I'm being serious. I think that he was just leveraging for more pass protection, weapons, more control of the offense, et cetera, et cetera. And for the most part, I think they've made him happy. They signed Shane Waldron to be the new offensive coordinator. Supposedly, that's Russ's guy. They got Gabe Jackson. They drafted an offensive tackle in the draft. So I think it was just leverage to kind of get what he wanted, and I don't think that he was serious about being traded. And I kind of maintained that throughout the offseason. But don't get me wrong, I did raise my eyebrows a little bit.
So, Sam, I guess for you, the same question. And now, mind you, I understand that he's like, hey, I want my guys, I want this, but also, it's not like it's hidden information. It's not like a regular company that we would work for where we don't know the books, we don't know the budget. Everything with the NFL, as far as cap, players available, contracts, guaranteed money, blah, blah, blah. It's all public information. You go to the right website, they have it all. Somebody will have the details. So if you're Russell Wilson, you only have 3 draft picks coming this offseason, which I'll get to that in a moment. But as a whole, he's thinking, hey, you know what, man? I want change and I want it right now.
Mhm.
As a fan, you're thinking, oh, shit, I can only do so much. How do we please this man with not a lot of money and only 3 picks? And the first one's what? The third round?
Second round. So it was second round. And
Okay, it was late second round. Okay.
Yeah, essentially a third. But I was kind of in the same camp as Mike, where I knew that he wasn't going to get traded. There was like a looming risk of it getting bad, but I never thought that it was going to get to that point. And I kind of never thought that it was going to be kind of that crazy. I think personally that what was worse was what came out of that, as in Chicago Bears fans spamming everywhere. Russ to Chicago for Trubisky and 4 first-round picks.
Lord knows I know all about that being over here.
Yeah.
Oh, Doh The Pain. Oh, yeah. How about this? How about we do a trade for Mitchell Trubisky, 3 first-round draft picks, and the dildo that was thrown on the field from the Bills game?
Relic.
I'm pretty sure the dildo probably has more trade value than Mitch did. I mean, did you see his playoff game against the Saints?
Yeah.
Not good.
Both a fake piece of deal. Got it.
Wow.
Oh, I see. I could talk crap about Mitch because he's not a Bear anymore. You know, he's a Buffalo Bill, so I don't care about Mitch no more.
Now I know your second team is the Chicago Bears and stuff, and I know that you're a Chicago type guy.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're thinking Bears, right? And I'm thinking that I'm like, this guy's gonna go out of his house right now, even though it's in a mid-pandemic, and there's gonna be guys that are gonna be wearing the hats, wearing the jerseys, and frying brats on the grill, even though it's like 20 degrees outside.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like it's like all the Bears fans that are just salty. They hear the news.
Yeah.
They got to walk their dog. Hey, how you doing this morning? Beautiful day.
Yeah, and then when the trade didn't happen, of course, knowing me, I didn't shut my mouth. I said, "Hey, how's Russell Wilson?" And I need to be more careful. I almost got beat up a couple times.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's the New Yorkers, because let me tell you something. It's funny because the Giants got so many acquisitions, but yet again, we're talking like the Knicks, that they're going to get all these trade candidates and all these acquisitions, like one of them being Lonzo Ball and all that. And I'm like, when's the last time a big free agent came to New York? Carmelo Anthony and who else? Not Melo, or not LeBron, I'm sorry. Not CP3, not Bosh, not Ray Allen, not Davis, not Butler, not Kyrie. You didn't offer Katie a max contract.
Nope.
I think it's kind of the same thing with the Seahawks. Now, granted, you have this big giant contract. The way that I kind of put it is this, especially last year, okay? You got $200. That's the most you could spend. Russell's getting $35 to $40 out of that.
Yeah.
What else you got next? And it just sucks because, I mean, I understand why they have a cap league, but with the loopholes and everything else, like, oh, we'll pay 5 years down the line, like we're having with the Saints, all that. I mean, it just gets pretty ridiculous, man. Because at the end of the day, your quarterback is going to make anywhere between, and even if it's just his 5th-year option, it's between $20 to $40 million with the $200 million cap.
Yeah.
What's your wide receiver going to get paid? DK Metcalf is going to have to get paid.
Oh, he's going to get paid.
In 2 or 3 years, yeah, we got to push that back a little bit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's things like that. Now, it sucks because Russell kind of sounded like he goes, the same guy that gave off his offensive lineman bonuses, like cash bonuses, basically as like an early or late wedding gift.
Yeah.
But it just kind of sucks because as a leader in that locker room, the fact that you took the stand, you talk shit about your team and organization that drafted you, took a chance on you in the later round. You're not a first-round draft pick quarterback. You didn't have the highest expectations. But you go on a show and intentionally or unintentionally, I think intentionally, you talk shit about your offensive linemen, the coaching, and the front office.
That's why I was
not a good look.
That's why I think it was about change, because like you said, like we said, he had the rift with Pete Carroll, and it's just well known that the offensive line has not been good So he has been well spoken about the fact that he wants to play, till he's Brady's age, till he's 44, 45. He's not going to do that if he's getting hit all the time. So I think he had to get desperate, and he had to pull out all the stops to really just be like, hey, get me an offensive line. He's on his knees. He's begging. And I think the thought of trading Russ scared him enough to the point of where they said, you know what, we'll give you what you want. Here's some offensive line help. Here's your offensive coordinator that you want. So that's why I think what we're saying, like a leverage move. And I think as of now, I think it's worked. Obviously, we'll have to see, but I would be pretty happy.
So far it's worked for sure. And
yeah,
we kind of talk about how Russell Wilson, that everlasting kind of threat of him demanding a trade, being like, you know what, you guys don't do enough for me anymore. I'm out of it. I can't do it anymore. It's kind of the risk, that everlasting risk, I feel like was more pushed by his team and was more pushed by his agents. Saying that, listen, Russ, you're too nice to intimidate any of these people in that building. They will never take you seriously. We need to walk
at
up
the
to them.
same time, guess what? It kind of goes like this. We know that how much money Russ puts in his body.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of goes like this, right? He pays these guys. The stuff that comes out of his check, it's like, hey, the agent makes X amount of dollars that came from his check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it comes down to this. I want to play the strong and independent, but guess what? Guy's a man. If somebody goes, hey, I want you to talk shit, you could just be like, no, I'm not doing it, because guess what? He could make his own decisions.
I think
there's been a lot of things that have gone wrong, and guess what? At the end of the day, right, he knew that he wasn't going anywhere. He knew that there wasn't much that he could do change, but guess what? He threw so much shade at half the organization and the people in it that you're telling me when it starts getting around to it and he's got to be a leader in that locker room, a lot of people are going to be okay with him?
I think so.
Especially if they don't, especially in tough games where, I mean, let's just face it, you're not going to win every single game.
Yeah.
After a tough loss and there's that tension that happened over the offseason, it could ruin somebody. We've seen it happen too many times.
I get where you're coming from, but I also I don't know if it applies here, because
you think that this will get away scot-free?
I think between Russ and the other players, it's fine. It won't be bothersome. I think we can potentially see a Russell Wilson Pete Carroll rift if we drop 2 or 3 in a row or whatever. That's the only kind of drama I'm worried about. But I don't think the players and Russell Wilson will have much tension.
I mean, I'm not referring to Lockett and Metcalf here. I'm referring to guys like the offensive line, some of the coaches, things like that. If you don't think that there's going to be any potential rift or potential drama there, I think that's I mean, this is reasonable doubt, mind you. This isn't, hey, this is going to happen. It's just reasonable doubt.
That could happen.
If you're saying that it's absolutely not going to happen, I mean,
it could.
I just don't think that'll hold up. When I say reasonable doubt, I mean, this shit can't hold up in court.
Yeah, I just don't think that it's significant enough, especially given Russ's personality. I just don't think that it's a significant enough rift to where it would do anything really. Like he talked with Bobby Wagner over the offseason, right? The other big leader on the team. So I don't really know.
Is he back or
Bobby?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby's back. Yeah.
All
KJ Wright is the one that's
KJ Wright, that's right. So he's not coming back. No shot.
I would probably say that there's a 10-20% chance that he comes back.
Do you think he's going to remain a free agent?
No, I think either he's going to remain a free agent or he's going to go somewhere else.
He stated specifically, he said, I will not take a hometown discount to come back to Seattle. And we just don't have money right now. We're broke.
Okay, but at the same time, right, after everything that's been going on and everything, well, I know they're past the time where you have to worry about salary and all that, but guess what? What exactly is his bottom dollar?
I think
for who else is interested?
I think what's going to happen, honest to God, is he's not going to be signed this season. And then in the preseason, somebody is going to blow their knee. Somebody's going to be out for the year. We see it every year. There's players that unfortunately go out for the year in the preseason. and he's going to be brought into another team for either to start or to have linebacker depth.
Yeah,
honestly,
I think it's going to start for veterans minimum and go maximum of $5 million. So we're going to go for like 900 and change to max $5 million. Exactly who that team is going to be, I don't know. I could say the same thing though for a guy like Justin Houston.
True.
I genuinely don't think KJ would play for anything less than $5 million. I don't think
well, guess what? Guess what the only field that he's going to be stepping on the next couple of months? The golf course.
The golf course. Oh my gosh.
Oh, the pain.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It kind of hurts, especially when all the other teams that need linebackers.
It hurts. That's exactly what this is about, man. It's saying the truth.
The teams that need linebackers right now are Green Bay, LA.
Don't ever mention KJ and Green Bay in the same sentence, Sam. Please. Can't do that to me.
The Rams. Is that worse?
Stop.
Two
Sam.
teams that have a huge need at linebacker.
Sam.
Are NFC West competitors.
We're not supposed to bring each other the pain, bro. It's supposed to be AJ doing that.
I'm just saying.
You just gave me a picture of KJ Wright in a Packers uniform, and now I want to throw up before we even mention the incident. Before we mention the incident, I already want to throw up.
I will refuse to talk about what we're going to talk about by name. I'm not going to say it.
No, it's referred to as the incident. We're not bringing the name.
Or as it's known among Seattle fans, just a deep stare into the eyes of whoever.
I'll tell the story of what happened, but I ain't saying what happened. That's my rule.
I just tweeted that out, and I tagged the two of you in it that you've heard the harsh truth. KJ Wright will be on the field soon. The golf course.
No. Yeah, that though pales in comparison to what I'm sure you're leading into here.
Hey, listen, as far as I'm concerned, you got nothing to worry about Green Bay because right now I don't even know if they have their MVP quarterback.
You know, maybe KJ Wright can join Aaron Rodgers on the golf course. I would love that personally. I'd love that.
That would be a hell of a picture. That would be.
I take
Aaron
KJ
Rodgers,
retiring.
KJ just chipping away on the.
I take KJ retiring if it meant Aaron Rodgers retiring. Dude, that'd be freaking awesome.
Aaron Rodgers is gonna grow his porn stash again. He's gonna have a cigar that's like 8 inches long.
Hey, speaking of the stash, man, I'm growing this out. It's coming in a little. It's coming in a little bit.
No.
Yeah, I'm growing it out.
Dude, don't do it.
Everybody's telling me no, and nobody could stop me. I'm doing it.
Okay, but do you know why, Mike?
Why I want the stash?
No, but do you know why I don't do the mustache?
Why?
I work in a maintenance department for a cerebral palsy company, and attached to it is a preschool and daycare.
Ooh,
if I grow out just the mustache, they wouldn't let me in that preschool and daycare.
I was just saying, I live in a neighborhood with an elementary school. I might have to stay within 200 yards of the elementary school at all times, but it'll be worth it because I look so cool.
Oh God, help! Oh God, help me! The pain, topic pain.
No pain.
Pay for me experiencing this.
Sam, give it to me straight, dog.
What
mustache? I'm growing it out.
The stash? If you could pull off a stash, it looks good. I don't know how it's gonna look on you.
Okay, but Mike, just remember this, right? The way that I would do it is there's so many guys I know that tried it, but here's the thing: shave it daily, have it come in thick, and then you develop it. You see, I do this, right? And it grows out, and I can actually go for about a month. Mm-hmm. But even then, right, if I just did the mustache, it still doesn't have the definition and the length to actually be pulled off as a look.
I've been shaving the mustache for like a year now, and then I think now's the time. I gotta grow it out. Yeah, are you familiar with Andrew Chafin on the Cubs?
That's what you're going for.
That's right, Andrew Chafin, baby.
If you ask me, though, man, if you want to pull it off, especially at your age, you're gonna have to just go with just a little bit on the chin, then the mustache. If you just do the mustache, it's creepy. If you do that a little on the chin, it's socially acceptable. I'm telling you.
I'll Tony Stark it.
There we go. There we go. Thank you, God. So I guess the next one being
AJ, ease into it, bro. Ease into it. Give us a little backdrop.
Okay. So here's another question that I asked you to, and let's break it down. The last, I want to say, close to a decade, as far as the first round draft picks, you've either not had them or they've been busts. So you guys told me that not developing first round picks hurts more. Now, this is aside of Jamal Adams. Now, a lot of people are going to say statistically he's overrated, but I think Jamal Adams is one of those guys where, okay, he is a system piece. So if you guys are in a dime or a nickel defense and if he's blocking a tight end, fine. If he's going to blitz, okay, put him on the line. You see, I'm okay with the way Jamal Adams plays as long as he fits a certain system. So I'm ruling that out of this, although the Jets do have that other first round pick that they used.
That's quite interesting.
But has there been any thought, right? Because every time when a first round draft pick is traded, like, my Chiefs traded for obviously offensive line help.
Frank Clark, baby.
You see, that's
Thanks,
another
AJ.
one. There is the what could have been.
Yep.
So don't you guys play that a lot? I mean, don't you be like, God damn it, I wish we could have developed that first round pick, or who would we take that's off the board, or who's still on the board?
And just really quick, you mentioned with Jamal Adams, you called him a system piece. That's a really weird way of saying best safety in the league. I've never heard it pronounced like that.
Yeah,
but
must be like French or something. It must be
like French. No, he's Italian. It's probably Italian pronunciation of it.
Is that how they
anyway, but I think the most frustrating thing about not developing those guys is, you draft them and you watch. That's we all do this. Our team drafts a player, and then we become experts on that player. We watch all their college tape. We look at their 40 time. We see how much they bench, and I'm going to be specific here and talk about Rashad Penny, who was our 2018 first-round pick, who I think will still break out. I mentioned in a video the other day, but as of yet, he has not. I mean, I remember watching Rashad Penny highlights and being, this guy's awesome. He is going to be our ground game. We're going to be awesome. We're going to be
1,000 yards or something.
Yeah, he went absolutely insane. He was graded the second running back behind Saquon Barkley. Obviously, Saquon is a generational running back prospect, so obviously he's behind him, but I was super excited for Rashad Penny. And he just hasn't been on the field. And then when he's been on the field, he's been mixed. He's been like average. He had one insane game against the Eagles. I'm pretty sure he had like 160 yards. Dude went absolutely crazy. And I was like, all right, here it comes. Boop, boop. All aboard the Rashad Penny hype train. And, unfortunately, the train crashed at the next stop. It just hasn't been continuously going.
But from a guy who does journalism and sports coverage in a non-biased way, the way that I kind of thought about it is the offensive line was lacking for years. And if you go by every team that has a lacking offense, right? Like the best example I could think of right now is look at the Bengals and look at Joe Mixon. He got banged. He's good, but he gets banged up a lot, and it's hard for him to produce.
That's the other frustrating part.
So you're spending your first round draft pick on a running back with a bad offensive line, hoping that he can develop and produce. I hope you realize that on a non-biased end, I'm not saying that Penny is bad. I'm not saying that the potential is gone. But you're telling me that there wasn't something better that you could have taken? Was the next offensive lineman available? Was there something defensively you liked? I mean, a running back in the first round, I mean, even the guys from the Blue Bloods would tell you, I hate taking running backs in the first round.
Oh, I hate it too. Don't get me wrong. I hate it too. But
despise it.
Yeah, but there's that excitement when you do take the guy, it's like, oh, well, he's good,
It's a flashy pick, but does it work?
Well,
and so far, it hasn't worked. And that's what everyone's kind of disgruntled about. And you guys are telling me that of all your research and all the time, you've never thought back to a recent draft and said, what if? This isn't 2012, 2014. This is your last first-round pick.
We don't have, other than Earl Thomas in 2010, we haven't had a successful first-round pick, I don't believe, in the John Schneider, Pete Carroll era. Sam, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe I'm wrong there.
And that's
so
I agree, and that's why you play it back and you're like, hey, what could have been better.
I think the biggest reason why it's so frustrating is Seattle is in the playoffs every single year. Literally every single year they're in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
And that's with minimal first round pick production, those guys are supposed to be the cream of the crop, the talent makers, the playmakers, all that. If we could have that production from first round picks, we could go from a good team to a legitimate Super Bowl contender. That's why it is so hair-pullingly frustrating that just these guys just don't pan out, and every year we just waste our first round pick. So that's why.
I mean, you've had steals in the second round. I mean, I think the biggest steal in recent memory is DK Metcalf
and Bobby.
Bobby Wagner was a second-round pick. Russell Wilson was a third-round pick.
I said recently.
Yeah,
right.
That's
right.
For sure.
Right.
Obviously, Russell was a steal. If you go by Wagner, that's a steal. But what I'm saying, I'm talking about recent time, and I'm like, hey, okay, DK Metcalf, first-round talent. There's some of these things like Russell Wilson where that was a lightning in a bottle, and it worked for the best.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you want to talk about steals, and we were on the topic of kind of blowing first-round picks and Rashad Penny and all that. The year before we picked Rashad Penny, we picked Chris Carson, who's a top 5 power back in the NFL. And when he stays healthy, he's like a guaranteed 1,000-yard rusher. We picked him in the 7th round. So
and you had what's his name, wide receiver that just became a free agent, also same 7th round.
Paul Richardson?
No,
David Moore. David Moore.
Yes,
David Moore.
And that was the exact same 7th round. We picked
same exact 7th round. I remember seeing that, and I'm like, wait, these guys were picked in the 7th round, and they got this. Yeah. Okay, so more late development pieces, but how come the first round pick? It's like insert SpongeBob chicken.
That's what's so frustrating, AJ.
It's bad.
Hair-pullingly frustrating.
Bad at getting first-round picks, mainly because we don't understand what basic talent is and what we need. We are in 2016, the draft. We need to pick. We need to pick a player who can protect Russ now, and we picked Jermaine Ifedi, who is at best a 2nd to 3rd round.
Hey, wait! While you said that, he actually just got a penalty for false start, Sam. So we're gonna have to back up 5 yards.
And a hold. He got a false start.
And a hold.
On the same play.
False start on the same play.
Dude, we clown Jermaine Ifedi so much. We clown him so much.
Firing off the line. I can just see him firing off the line. The only person.
Oh, it wasn't me. And then he would always be like, it wasn't me.
He's always like, and he does it. He does like once every possession. It's
Dude,
comical.
do you remember the game against the Packers where we had like a 2nd and 35?
Yeah.
But if you think about it, man, the last draft you had, this just recent draft, you know what you guys got labeled at by a lot of other people. I mean, it's only 3 picks, but if you go by needs and what was available, a lot of times, a lot of the grades were a D.
Let me tell you a little history lesson here.
So was Russell Wilson.
2012. Yeah, there we go, Sam. Great minds think alike.
Russell Wilson, Bobby Wagner, both
in 2012.
At the time.
In 2012, before the draft, if you guys remember, the Seahawks signed Matt Flynn, remember him, to a massive deal. And when the Seahawks picked Russell Wilson in the 3rd round, what the hell are these guys? They just signed Matt Flynn. It's a wasted pick, right? They got D. Their draft was graded a D. The Russell Wilson pick was an F.
Even some
now
Fs.
Look,
there was an entire draft grade as an F.
And looking back, they look like idiots, right? Or the people who graded the draft, they look like absolute idiots. Back-to-back Hall of Famers. Russell Wilson's a franchise guy, top 3 quarterback in the league. So I'm not saying that we drafted back-to-back Hall of Famers. I'm not saying we drafted a top 3 anybody at their position. But what I'm saying is draft grades don't matter. Pete Carroll and John Schneider know better. And honestly, I think that the whole draft grade is really overrated. And it's stupid, in my opinion. I really don't like it. Especially Pro Football Focus. I got beef with Pro Football Focus. I really need to have a sit-down talk with those guys.
I will say this. It is, I saw something just recently that they did. I forgot what it was, but how about we just agree with this? PFF is a love-hate relationship.
I always say that
hate.
PFF is PFF is great when it proves your point.
Yeah.
It is terrible when it goes against your point. It is awful when it goes against your point. Because you could be like, look at this is why Bobby Wagner is the best linebacker in the NFL.
And they just ignore what they say about Jamal. Just ignore what they say about Jamal.
Yeah. Bobby Wagner had the best grade of any middle linebacker in the NFL last year. And they're like, okay, so why does Jamal have a 10 coverage?
They don't know football, bro. They don't know
what they're talking about. Flawed system.
Yeah. They only get it right. They get it right on certain
biggest double-edged sword.
It's terrible.
It's the biggest double-edged sword you could say. Although I will say, when I was covering Texans with McSwain, Ross Blacklock out of 100 for his score, I think ranked like 30 out of 100. It was like a 30-point something. It was absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, in the red, it was a complete F grade, and I'm like, that was the first pick of the draft for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. So, Pro Football Focus, I don't like them personally, but again, when they say nice things about my favorite players, they get a little bit of grace from me.
That's why I've just stopped using Pro Football Focus as a whole, because
they're starting to become like a glorified troll account. Like Barry McCockiner is about to be dethroned by Pro Football Focus, I think, as the biggest troll account on Twitter.
Barry McCockiner. Like,
I might have to bleep that out.
PFF posts things that just like makes you like despise them if it's against your team, but then when they say it, it's funny. It's funny. But when they're like, man, freaking Jamal Adams really sucks in coverage, I'm like,
shut up.
No, he doesn't. You don't know what you're talking about.
She is actually very gorgeous to me.
She's actually very gorgeous to me.
No, the best thing they tweeted was the Julio pick when he was about to get traded. It was Julio photoshopped in the Seahawks jersey. I was like, yes, give him, yes.
And then they're like, Julio to the Rams. I'm like,
shut up, no.
Just
like that.
Everybody knew that was a pipe dream. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, we knew it too, AJ.
Yeah.
But it's like that KSI meme, you know? Yes, no. That's live reaction to me looking at PFF tweets.
All right. So here's a good question for you. When I think of this uniform, I think of Matt Hasselbeck. What do you think
the gray.
What do you think about the gray and the metallic blue? How do you like those uniforms?
Terrible pain moment for us.
AJ,
one of the best uniforms in the NFL, which are like those nice slick.
It's like you have
the nice blue, and then go to these.
Is it like that silvery blue?
It's like
It was like that. It was like kind of like that darkish blue, but not really. And then
it's like
the silver pants, silver helmet.
Going from the jerseys that we had to those gray ones, I'll give an example. It's like okay, Justin Bieber, right? Dated Selena Gomez, phenomenal, gorgeous. Then moved on and dated somebody else, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? You totally downgraded. You know what I mean? Like, it's so disappointing in every facet possible. You know, I had to slip a Selena Gomez reference in there, and I did it pretty successfully on that one. But you know what you get what I'm saying. You're smelling what the Rock is cooking. In other words,
simping aside, like we're talking about here how we have great throwbacks, and then like this 10-year run, terrible.
So I mean, it kind of goes like this. Now, if you guys knew how I picked my team, you know, not everyone had a computer at their house as when I was growing up, but I had a PC game. It was backyard football. I want to say it was 2002. And it was actually kind of cool because, like, you know, you move the mouse around, you throw the football here. I mean, as a kid, you thought it was cool.
Yeah.
And I was honestly, there was kind of that time where, you know, you got little kid me and my father over there, a diehard Jet fan because he went to a lot of the games, has a lot of the old ticket stubs, my father actually went, if you go to the throwback game, it was Jets versus Seahawks. The last score in that game was Vinny Testaverde run the ball. They signaled him in, but he was clearly short.
Vinny Testaverde, that's a guy.
That's a guy.
He was clearly about this far away from the end zone, They ruled it a touchdown, and that was the game-deciding score.
Wow.
My father was at that game with my mother.
Typical refs going against the Seahawks, but
And usually now it's kind of reversed. You gotta admit, sometimes it does seem to favor. I mean, listen, there's these hometown Johnny calls to every team occasionally. Sam, we live in New England. We know how that shit is.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. You can't change my mind otherwise.
Patriots players celebrating around the ref in the AFC Championship game versus Jacksonville.
The only quarterback to ever pat the ref on the ass when he goes to the sideline is Tom Brady.
The only reason that game was that I love that game, Sam, is because looking back, it just made Jalen Ramsey feel like shit. And when Jalen Ramsey feels like shit, I feel very good about myself.
Hey, same.
So very glad that Jalen Ramsey lost that.
Is when Devontae Adams cooked him on that short little route.
Yeah, but really,
it was a bad game. I didn't know who to root for that game, but I was just rooting for somebody to lose, and
I was rooting for either Aaron Rodgers to be pissed or Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald to be pissed. It was one of the two.
Yeah, I wanted them.
That's a hard one because I mean they're both rivals to the Seahawks.
Yep, both
and Bears.
The Packers are kind of like a pseudo rival, and then the Rams are like a rival. Like
gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm kind of sad because I'm like, I asked you guys this before I get to that. What the reason why I was mentioning the jerseys is because I actually really dig the Seahawks logo. I just thought that metallic blue kind of reminds me of like what I used to paint primer on cars with.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, that is just not a good color at the time. And that was the jersey at the time. Although, to be honest with you, I love the Arrowhead logo. I really just did. I fell in love with it. I saw Priest Holmes in his prime stretch, and I was hooked.
Yeah.
My father was confused, but it was kind of like one of those awkward handshakes.
You were a prophet. You're like, in 20 years, these Chiefs, they're going to be so good, bro. Oh, my God.
I didn't have a prodigy at all. And by the way, they sucked for a long time. I'll make a solo episode rant about that. But going into another question I asked you guys was, outside of anyone from the division, I know when you guys and Matt and Jake Disher and all the other guys, MC, when it comes to 49er time, I know it gets a little weird, and I know Matt.
We really just call that babysitting time. We really just call that babysitting time. You know,
Ooh.
Just some good father-son time between Russell Wilson and his children.
Hey, listen, Franny, forget about it. There wasn't babysitting time when the 49ers were in the Super Bowl against my Chiefs. Okay.
Hey, we beat them once. We were about an arm length away from sweeping them that year.
We're
just saying.
Hollister being 1 inch taller and 10 pounds heavier.
Just saying, if we would have beat, if we would have beat Green Bay in that divisional round, Niners might not have been to that Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying. But
yes.
But you can't deny that Russell Wilson has how many people on our active roster? He's got 53 children on that play for the San Francisco 49ers. It's quite fruitful, actually, if you think about it.
Right now, he has 90.
Wow. Yeah, 90.
Pounding like a Mario mystery box. My God.
Yeah. Hey, you're going to make me pregnant again.
That guy, and let me tell you something, man. I don't care if I'm a celebrity or not. I wouldn't want to be talked to like that on a camera.
My God. That was, I've sent that to Sam. Sam, how many times have I sent that video? 10?
Let me tell you something. If I said that to my girlfriend at the time, and I recently became single before I joined undrafted worst take at the time, but oh my God, she would have been pissed.
My goal is to try that one day. My goal is to try that one day. I'm going to try that one day.
On Selena Gomez.
Thanks, Sam. Real mature, bro. Dude, we're supposed to deflect pain from each other. You're giving me more, so.
I mean,
yeah. Here.
So I guess back on track from that. I'll just call it that. So outside of the division, I asked who's your biggest rival.
Green Bay.
I was actually about to say Green Bay.
Green Bay. It's fair.
That's by far, right?
So far, I think you could argue that like We play the Vikings a lot for some reason.
Yeah, but we
I
don't
know
really
you mentioned the
lose to the
Vikings,
Vikings.
Sam, but I'm just kind of like this, right? The games where it's been very close, down to nitty gritty, it could be playoffs. Like the recent rivalry that I'm really loving is the Ravens and the Titans,
Yeah,
and it's getting shippy.
yeah.
Getting chippy.
The things that get chippy in the fan bases in the games, and it's been pretty even. I want to say it's been the Packers, and I don't think it comes close. I don't think it comes close with any other team.
Yeah, I think, again, outside of division, because you have to think, again, of a team that's been consistently competitive for the last 10 years, Green Bay, a team that matches us blow for blow quarterback, Green Bay. And you think of great moments. I mean, who could forget the NFC Championship game, which, even if you're not a Seahawks fan, it's just a great game. The divisional round last time we played was a really good game.
Yeah, with
And
the controversial Jimmy Graham.
And
There's
who's
the
the
Fail
and
Mary,
who's the
the
best
Fail
rival
Mary.
in the and who's the biggest rival in the division, you think?
Ooh, I can't say San Francisco because we consistently beat them.
Yeah, But
I would
then
say
again, okay,
Rams. I would say the Rams.
Throughout
thing,
history,
though.
you're saying the Rams, and currently, who do you think
Throughout
it is?
history, like if we're just talking like beef wise, it's definitely the 49ers. But like our best rival in the division is the Rams.
I think-
And right now, since Rams are the favorite, by the way, if this is now, mind you, you got to be careful of anything that Dan Orlovsky comes out of his mouth. But this time, he actually had something correct, and this is the quarterbacks that have the most pressure against them. And if you think about it, right, if we go 5-1, Baker, Josh Allen, Tua.
Hey, be
I got
careful
the orange pineapple for you.
Be careful now, AJ.
Wentz and Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford has a lot of
And if you think about it, right, the way that Stafford's kind of been labeled in the NFL, it's kind of like the Paul George of the NFL.
Hopefully.
How so?
Well, if you think about it, right, they're waiting for this guy to become basically, they're like, okay, look at how much he gets paid. We expect this guy to produce. We expect this guy to be a star. But if you look at the wins, if you look at things like that, it just, listen, the way that the media and the fans will tell you about this is, I'll just name you 5-1. They say Baker's not good. Well, but guess what? There's nobody else to replace him. They went to the playoffs last year. You lost to the Super Bowl reigning champions. That's not a bad way to go out. Josh Allen, you were a game away from the Super Bowl. You've done pretty well, but some people think you're overhyped. There's some people that are labeling Tua as a bust, but guess what? The coaching system has been bad in the Dolphins organization this whole 21st century. On a consistent basis, the Miami Dolphin coaching has been garbage. And all these people are talking shit about Tua, but guess what? Statistically proven, he does better when he's able to throw the ball freely. And DeFran, you know, statistically, I viewed every single game that he played.
Yes.
When he threw the ball longer and had free range to do so, he became a better player.
He's an excellent.
He's averaging throws like 4 yards a pass. Guess what? It's not great.
Well, because really quick, again, before you deliver the pain like you're a postman, I just want to say really quick, when he was at Alabama, he would do two things. A, throw deep, which he did great at, or he would throw 3-yard slants, and one of his 4 first-round wide receivers would take it 80 yards. So the slant routes to 80 yards don't really work in the NFL as often, although he's got one of his first-round wide receivers back.
But the offensive coordinator left because he found out it didn't work. And It was long overdue. To be honest with you, if Tua actually had if he started the season and they realized that, hey, crunch time comes around and it's not working, then guess what? Chances are that offensive coordinator could have been fired by week 9.
Yeah. Thank you. Before we continue, thank you for agreeing with me that Tua is better than Justin Herbert. I really appreciate that. I've been having that fight a lot on Twitter, but thank you.
You're not going to win me over on that one, even though I'm a Chiefs fan, buddy. But it
was close. It was worth a shot. Shooters got to shoot.
But just remember, if you go by the Charger games that were lost, I will say this, good and bad. What I saw for a lot of games from Justin Herbert, Matt Ryan 2.0.
To a loss less
Except-
games than Justin Herbert. Just so I'm clear.
But guess what? Just remember this. How many times were they up by 3 touchdowns? Offense wasn't rolling. Defense wasn't making the stops. The only difference was if you're part of the Falcons, you blame it on Matt Ryan. You blame it on the head coach if you're the Chargers. Scapegoat.
Mm-hmm.
It's scapegoating.
Justin Herbert is a fraud.
So back
Herbert is a fraud.
back on track, and I do hope that Stafford doesn't become. I hope he breaks out of that mold of the NFL's Paul George.
I don't. No, I don't. I don't. I really hope that he sucks.
That's
really
because
bad.
you're the most biased fan I've ever met in my life.
So name one thing I'm biased about.
You couldn't keep a straight face on that one if you got paid to do so.
Let's go. Let's go. Second one. All right. Maybe
so I guess so. Here's an easy one. You were asked this by somebody else. If you were to trade the Super Bowl victories, as in, hey, you lose to the Broncos, but you win against the Patriots. That is such an easy trade. And Sam, I knew you would take that in a New York minute.
Easy. I wouldn't even think about it. I wouldn't even think about
that. That's not even a thought. That's a promise. That's like, hey, who do I have to sign? Is there a paycheck, buddy? Let me sign the check. You would do almost anything to lock that in.
It would be. I wish. I would trade it in a heartbeat, instantly.
And I was saying this to Sam DeFran while you were taking off for a little bit. A lot of people will say they're like, "Oh, New England was the favorite, right?" But at the end of the day, you can't say that it's like, "Oh, the play calling, the system did it, or they're coached." At the end of the day, this was just late play calling. That was the difference. And yeah, we're going to go by this, and I know this is your biggest painful moment for the both of you. It was it the interception, or was it beast mode not getting the ball?
The incident is what we're saying. The incident. I can't. You're gonna trigger flashbacks.
Mike, do you want to yell first, or do you want me?
Sam, I'll give you the honors of yelling first.
So hold on. So it seems like it's now that time. So if I need to extend it to a minute, I will. I'll give
Sam?
you a minute. If you're rolling.
Deep breath.
Go.
All right. The fact that we did not give the ball to arguably the best power back in the last decade is honestly comical. He's been damn near unstoppable the entire game, and he was just 1 yard away from scoring the game-winning touchdown the play before. And yet Pete Carroll comes out and he says, "Oh, I got the perfect plan. I have it all set up. We're not going to throw it to our number 1 receiver, Doug Baldwin. We're not going to throw it to our number 2 receiver, Jermaine Kearse. We're not even going to throw it to our number 3 receiver, who was like Paul Richardson. Nah. Let's go Ricardo Lockett."
Don't forget Chris Matthews, even too.
Yeah,
6'5".
He's having a game, and he says we're going to throw the slant to Ricardo Lockett, the special teamer, who rarely catches passes, and instead, and not to overshadow the fact that once again we have Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. Marshawn Lynch, and you act like Pete Carroll. He's all shocked. He throws his headset. He's shocked. What are you shocked about? You made the conscious decision to run the ball, and then you automatically throw it. And so then you say, okay, let's throw it. You decide to throw it to like your 4th best, maybe even 5th best option on the team. You send him in the game, and you're like, all right, Ricardo, you're going to be the guy to catch the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. Jermaine Kearse sets a terrible pick. He clearly wasn't ready for the play. He was expecting a run. Sets a terrible pick. And Ricardo Lockett just gets absolutely smoked to the ball by this 5'11" dude who undrafted out of a Division III school, has never played a game, got burned by Jermaine Kearse like 2 plays before. And all of a sudden, just want to Russell Wilson should have demanded a trade in front of Pete's face on the sideline right there. So should have Marshawn Lynch. Everybody should have demanded a trade, because that is overall one of the worst play calls, and if not the worst play call in the history of football. And it's kind of not debatable. That cost us a potential dynasty, a repeat, the ever elusive Super Bowl repeat. That cost us it. And then we have to live with this eternal pain of Malcolm Butler, that image of Malcolm Butler running in, throwing Chris Matthews just from bumping into into him, even though Ricardo Lockett, bumping Ricardo Lockett, even though Ricardo Lockett has a solid 3 inches on him, just going flying in the air. He somehow stays on his feet, gets the pick, falls down. And it's just, it's a comical thing. I would have sworn I was watching like Madden AI call that play. Pete Carroll probably booted up the Xbox when on the sideline, went to that Madden auto play call. He wanted the quick slants. He knew exactly what play he was doing. He's like, this is the play. I got it down. Don't worry.
And I get you almost close to the 3, but you were just such on a roll. And it also sucks because after he didn't catch it, it looked like he flopped.
Yep. He did.
He
tried to draw the penalty.
Dude, this isn't soccer. What the hell's wrong with you?
Not. This is. I'm just gonna let my.
What, you thought he was gonna push you on the ground and you're going to get him ejected like Pat Beverly? No, thank you.
Just let Mike talk. I gotta cool off for a second. I got mad.
You got the timer ready, AJ?
All right. Go.
You have Marshawn Lynch. Give him the ball 4 straight times. I don't care. I don't care if he didn't score the first time. You give him the ball 4 straight times. He is the best. Listen to me. He is the best power back of our generation. At the goal line, he is freaking unstoppable. I was at a game earlier in this year where, I don't know if you remember this, AJ, against the Cardinals, had what was called Beastquake 2.0, broke about 6 tackles, tiptoed down the sideline, then jumped, grabbed his crotch on his way to the end zone. You think he could have broken 1 tackle? You don't think he could have broken 1 tackle on his way to the end zone? You really don't think so?
He didn't need to break a tackle. He just needed to just shoulder himself in.
Thank you. Clearly, this message should have been given to Pete Carroll. Additionally, if you decide to throw the ball, why the fuck would you throw the ball in the middle of the field where there's going to be the most people?
Oh, the pain.
Why? And to Ricardo Lockett, I love you, dog, but that was the dumbest fucking call I've ever seen in my life. 12-year-old me absolutely broke it. I haven't recovered from this. This has been a constant nagging point in my life. As the only Seahawks fan in my radius that I know, this is a constant pain in my ass.
Change that up, you know.
This is the constant pain in my ass that people bring up. Whenever I say anything positive about this, Malcolm Butler, I'm done. Can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore.
And we're sick of it.
If I had a time machine and I could change one historical event in all of history, I would go up to the sideline, punch Pete Carroll in the face, say halfback dive on the mic, boom. It's that simple. It's that simple.
Actually, I could go one step. Okay, I'll time you for that one. If I were to go back in time and change one event sport related.
No, just in general. I'm just changing one event in general.
No, if I'm changing one sport, if I'm changing a few of them, now mind you, right? Let me tell you something. There's the 2004 Yankee collapse to the Red Sox, but that's not it.
Yeah, nobody likes the Yankees, AJ. I'm sorry, dog.
No, I wasn't going. Okay, but I wasn't going there. Guess where I'm going with?
The 2020 Super Bowl.
The Tuck Rule.
Tuck Rule?
Ooh.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Brady made his career off that one call against the Raiders.
Damn, you're really cynical. I'm changing one play. I'm changing one play. You changing Brady's whole career.
No, this is one play that goes off of his career. And guess what? After that game, right? You know what you could also blame Tom Brady for if you're a Raiders fan? Not just that game. Because after that game, the Raider regime and the powerhouse that they all stand for was over.
AJ,
look at everything after that. Mediocrity.
Dog,
Jamarcus Russell.
How are you going to just say here and say, oh, yeah, I'm going to make the Raiders a dynasty again? You're a Chiefs fan, dog. How are you going to do that?
I'm not saying that they're going to become a dynasty. I'm ruining the reign of Tom Brady.
Man, you are evil. You're
if
evil.
The Raiders got to make one Super Bowl, well, guess what? You're eventually going to tank for Jamarcus Russell, and you're going to suck the cock for another decade. So I'm okay with that.
Dude, he is you evil. I'm changing one play. You're I want Brady's career. I want his head on my desk.
How do the
Brady's
Raiders not
career,
suck if
we
they have a
were Super Bowl
whorehouse
49.
named after them?
Okay.
Explain
Sam.
that one to me. They have a
Sam.
whorehouse named after them. The women are called wide receivers. They suck that bad. You're telling me that the Raiders could get any worse? No, they can't. What are they going to
Sam.
do? They're going to dress up like it's Halloween, and they're going to beat each other up in the parking lot.
Sam, who did the Patriots beat in the 2014 AFC Championship game? Was it the Broncos? No, was it the Colts? I'm pretty sure
It was
Colts.
it was the Colts. It was.
We would have destroyed the Colts. They won 45-7. Oh yeah, that was the Deflategate game. Yeah.
We would have destroyed the Colts. It wouldn't have been close. We would have torched the Colts.
AJ?
Andrew Luck would have not known where to
Yeah.
throw that ball.
Andrew Luck, I introduced you to the Legion of Boom. Andrew Luck. Enjoy your 60 minutes.
But I wanted to see that game so bad too.
Yeah. It's
too
bad.
I'll never forget there was this commercial on ESPN, and this woman just asked this guy on the sidewalk, I forget the guy's name, but it goes, you know what time it is? He goes, it's move past the Deflategate. It's time to get rid of the Pro Bowl. It's time for an NFL team in Los Angeles. That is what time it is. It actually was a good show. I forget the name of it.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm starting to connect the dots a little bit. If you hear something loud like a broken washer, that's the gears in my brain shifting. But I don't know, man. Defeating Brady's whole career, because then think about this also.
You're talking about the small picture. I'm thinking about a bigger picture.
AJ, you're an evil genius, bro. You're like, you guys are thinking. You're like Thanos, bro. You like eliminate half.
That's like you guys thinking about dimes, and I'm thinking about dollars. Okay.
Drew Bledsoe retires the GOAT.
Yeah.
He wins Super Bowl 49.
So think about it. And if you would have gotten beat by Andrew Luck in a Legion of Boom, it would have been done clean. No conspiracy. And I think that is a better closure, because if it was just, you know what, we got outplayed or whatever, it would have been better if it's just like, it's all in the basket. Let's cruise forward.
Sam, we end up playing the Colts. Pierre Desir gets the pick on the goal line. Oh my God. I can't do it anymore, bro. I don't even know. Like, we went through the moment, but are you interested in any of the posts? What happened after the aftermath of the incident? Because that's a story and a half, man.
So I guess you guys would know more, and I just didn't want to. This was painful for me because I'm anti-patriot. You guys know that.
Yep, as everybody is, and everybody should be.
Well, yes. I'll just say this though. As far as the worst fans out there, I say this:
Yankee Patriots fans. Sorry, AJ.
No, I'm saying NFL.
Oh, Cowboy fans, Patriots fans.
No, Patriot, Cowboy.
Yeah.
Raider.
Yeah.
Raider fans are not good.
I can agree with that. I'd also say Packers, but that's probably because I'm a little biased here.
They're definitely biased.
But no, after the fact.
So was this a design play that Pete Carroll had?
Yes.
So he drew that up. It wasn't the offensive coordinator. This is Pete Carroll.
He openly came out and said it was me who called the play.
I think that's because he didn't want to take anyone's job.
Maybe, but I would be surprised. Pete Carroll, like, he seems like the kind of person who like the DC would be like. He thinks he would be like the evil genius. OC's like, yeah, we're gonna just do the classic halfback dive with Marshawn Lynch. We're gonna win our.
He goes like, nah.
He's like, guys, I got it. They're gonna expect it. Pass
like that
to Ricardo Lockett.
They'll never see it coming.
They think he's coming in to block. No.
Oh.
He's gonna catch the game-winning touchdown. 10 seconds later, Peach.
And part of the play that was so interesting is directly after it happened, I literally went to shock. My brain could not process what happened.
Yeah.
And when Al Michaels said what he said, I quite literally pinched myself because I did not believe that I was like in reality.
It off. I didn't know. I thought it was incomplete, and I was looking for the ball on the ground. And my grandpa, we flew down to Miami to watch the game. My grandpa lives in Miami, and he goes, "Oh no, And I'm like, what happened? They're just gonna run the ball, and he's gonna get into he's like, they picked it off. I'm like, what? And then it's like the pass is intercepted, and people say I cried myself to sleep as a joke.
We
No
did.
lie,
We did.
I cried myself to sleep that night. I was so tired from crying that I fell asleep.
The worst part, maybe the worst school day of my life was walking into school the next day, and it was a constant bombardment from everybody, teachers. The principal came in to make fun of my Seahawks. It was everybody. I wanted to bury my desk in and cry.
He walked in the room, knocks on the door. Where's Mike?
No, he literally. Fun fact. I believe I was in English class.
You didn't take a sick day?
No, I was in 6th grade. I tried very hard.
Okay, dude, let me tell you something. I understand 6th grade, but guess what? There's just certain things you gotta do. And I know this is usually something you do in high school, right? But hey, if you got good grades, think of it as a mental health day.
Yeah.
Mental health days are important. That counts as a sick day.
That whole day was just terrible. And the principal comes in and he goes, Hey, did you catch the game last night?
But that's because for the longest time, I'm pretty sure this started as a kid, just like Reggie Miller, you like to talk shit.
I don't talk shit. When have I ever talked shit?
Jermaine Petty can't play. He's terrible. He just had a false start.
No, Sam. This is how it started. It started out as a little kid, just being like, eating cereal.
Yeah, I think that's.
Scoop bird. Scoop bird.
I think honestly, my shit talking personality came from that because I was just in such defense mode. Like people would say, they threw the ball. I'd be like, yeah. Your mom, and I was trying so hard. I was grasping at straws, and I couldn't get anything, and it was really making me upset because I didn't have a comeback. What was I supposed to say?
It's like, hey, maybe your wide receiver should work about catching. Your mom knows about catching.
No, and I remember one. I thought I had a really good comeback. We were at recess. I thought I had a really good comeback, and I was like, oh! I look around, everyone's like, you threw the ball at the goal line.
And Mike just cries. He runs in. He's like,
literally,
no, I did it. And he goes running in.
And the worst part about it was I didn't even realize that I wore a Seahawks shirt to school that day. So just to add.
Wait a minute. Are you kidding me?
I was so sad. I, like Sam said, cried myself to sleep. And I woke up at 6:30.
You're telling me that you went. It sounds like you went to school with what you had on last night.
No, it was different because I just grabbed a random shirt off my floor and just went. And clearly I wanted to die.
Oh my!
Clearly, I wanted to die.
And Mike gets on the bus.
You literally woke up and indecisively chose murder.
Yeah, I wanted to die that morning.
Mike was like, "I'm just gonna be chill.
The pain.
I'm just gonna wear this nice navy blue shirt. I'm just gonna wear this nice navy blue shirt." On
my walk to school, I remember thinking, maybe they didn't watch the game. Like maybe nobody saw it. Like I just won't mention it. Maybe nobody saw it. And everybody. It was literally like the most watched Super Bowl of all time.
Yeah, it was. I think to this day, it's the most watched.
The most watched Super Bowl of all time, of course.
Even if, oh my,
it still hasn't escaped me. I still hear Malcolm Butler jokes. I still hear, my friend said to me the other day, he goes, hey, Mike, what's the difference between a flower and Russell Wilson? What? Nothing. They both get picked off. Shut up. It's been 7 years. And the worst part about it is that they haven't been back. Because if they go back and they win, nobody, they can bring up Malcolm Butler all they want, and I'll say, hey, we won.
That's just the thing that kind of just gets me is, listen, I know I'm kind of optimistic here, but being a Chief fan growing up, the playoffs seemed unattainable for so long. And as a kid, when I had Priest Holmes or Trent Green or whoever was on my team, both times we were in the playoffs, both times we got knocked out by the Colts.
Yeah.
So
everyone did with the Patriots.
Yeah.
So at that point, right, it was just not attainable. So if somebody wants to say playoffs, that is highly understandable. When someone says make the big dance, it's like, okay, take the NFL, divide it in half. What are your chances of being one of 16 that are going to make it in that division, AFC or NFC? You have
Yeah.
one out of 16 chances, and you're going, oh, we never had to make it to a big dance. That's like, listen, if you want to say how the Cowboy fans are complete jerk offs and it's been 25 years, and the only reason we're saying 25 years is because they can be assholes about it.
Yeah.
And that's why down south, they are considered the worst fan base when me and Sam would easily say it's the Patriots.
Yeah. Did I another thing that I hate
going forward with it, Mike, right?
Another thing that I hate about Patriots fans is that they are so, I think pompous is the right word. My English isn't great. I've only been speaking it for 18 years, so I'm not really too good at it yet. But I think pompous is the right word, where they know they're good and they will just rub it in your face.
But even if they had a bad year, it kind of just went off of this. It went to not just pompous, but just bossy. It's like, hey, who you root for? See, and this is before that game, okay? Like, imagine rooting for the Colts and Prime Peyton Manning is on there, right?
Yeah.
It just kind of goes like this. It's like, who you root for? The Colts. You fucking suck. Why? Because I'm a Patriots fan. You're not a Patriots fan? Great. Guess what? You fucking suck.
Yeah.
NFC, guess what? Same thing. You fucking suck.
It's all that Sam Adams.
That was the mentality. And my father will tell me this, and Sam, I'm pretty sure your family members would say this. There are no Patriot fans before 94.
Very little. Yeah, very little.
It was a colony.
Yeah, it literally. It was like it went back to like the old Boston 1776 days. They all got in a little pub, all 10 of them. They all sat in a little pub.
They're drinking Sam Adams.
yelling at the TV when they drafted Brady, and then all of a sudden, now everybody wants to be a Patriots fan. Everybody.
I've noticed there was also a large
radio at
I noticed there was also a large migration of Tampa Bay fans when Tom Brady signed with them.
Yes, when was Tampa Bay selling?
Well, that's because hey, just remember. Do you guys remember FAFT? FAFT?
No.
Fuck all Florida teams.
Hey.
FAFT Nation. Fuck all Florida teams.
I don't got a problem with Florida teams. Florida's probably my favorite state. I got a problem with Florida teams.
Whoa.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
Tampa Bay
Buccaneer bandwagon.
I watch hockey. The Bucks before this year were never a problem. This year it's like...
they could still suck the cock meat sandwich like it's
the Dolphins.
Khalifa,
you know what? The Dolphins got great uniforms. They got a future NFL MVP as their quarterback. They've got a great wide receiver. I like the Dolphins personally.
Listen, I like Tua. I just wish he wasn't at a dumpster fire organization. That's fair. But at the same time, guess what? The Bills were that way until 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So there we go. An inconsistent organization, even though that's new yuck, but still.
Thank you for agreeing with me again. That Tua is a beast. And it's just the Dolphins' fault all around him. Yes, nothing to do on him.
So I guess I'll just say this, and I know it's definitely been over an hour, and there's been a lot of painful moments. And DeFran, please, I'm not sure if you've showered off yet or so, but please, sometime before you go to bed so you can sleep peacefully, take some cold water and just splash in your face, put it in the back of your hair, and just soothe for me.
Yeah.
You'll live a little bit longer.
I need to spray fragrances to get the scent of Malcolm Butler
Sam,
on me.
If you got a shake, do what I did, man. I knew I was going to be talking about some painful moments. I took a shaker, I poured some ice in it, put some iced tea in there, and I just zened.
Yep, that's
all you can do. So Sam, any final words as far as this one goes?
Pete Carroll is kind of a fraud for doing that in Super Bowl 49.
Is there a love-hate relationship?
Yes, very much. I love Pete as a person. Honestly, he seems like a cool dude.
Yeah.
He's a great
player. I'd love to chew gum with Pete Carroll. 100%.
I would love to sit. I would love to sit on the Puget Sound, walking up and down the beach like this while chewing gum with Pete Carroll.
All right.
But
Stop.
at the same time, I would genuinely consider throwing Pete Carroll into the Puget Sound and just watching him float away.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Hey, listen, as far as I'm concerned, just remember this, guys. You know Chiefs fans hate me.
Bye.
Oh, I've never told you this story? Okay, so this is an Doh The Pain bonus. Let me tell
Bonus
you,
edition.
this is a bonus edition of Doh The Pain, and we'll mark it off as this. If you've noticed, and McConnell will tell you this, there's a lot of cocky-ass bastards in the Chiefs' kingdom, and it's starting to become more of a Chiefs dictatorship.
Yeah.
Because they're starting to get very salty and very arrogant. Listen, I was around for the Trent Green days, and there's some of these people that are still in high school. You see, a lot of these guys that are in high school and haven't watched like the beginning of Reign of Big Ben and all that, right? It's like there's these new generation of fans, or some that are just converted. Like the Steeler fans and the Pittsburgh fans used to be pretty good, but now they're just becoming salty and they're just becoming just bitter. The Kansas City fans are starting to become arrogant.
Take that, Maddox. Boom.
I'm referring to more than him. There's the guys that are much worse than Maddox, just for the record. I know you're just taking a shot at him, but whatever.
Love you,
The
Maddox.
thing that I'm going with here is they're getting arrogant. They're like, the thing about, oh yeah, by the way, we are getting a offensive lineman who wants out of Baltimore. And I'm like, you know what? I just don't know if I like this. How dare you question Brett Veach? I'm sorry. Am I at the fucking country club where I can't disagree? Are you fucking kidding me? Is that how we're going to run this, you fucking asshole? Suck my dick? That's how you want to start today off? Guess what? You woke up and you chose a murder, you fucking ass bang. Come on.
AJ, this is why we need a debate show. I need that so badly in a debate show format.
So because I don't trust my general manager, apparently I'm a fraud and I'm not a Chiefs fan. My first Chiefs jersey was from Reebok.
Oh, wow.
That's a Reebok jersey. You guys don't own a Reebok jersey, do
2010 was the last year they did Reeboks, I'm pretty sure, because 2011 they switched to Nike.
I got mine in Christmas. It was year 2004 or 2005. I want to say 2004.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That was my first jersey. And my second one, 2007, Larry Johnson. Again, Reebok.
That's OG, bro.
So I've been a Chiefs fan since Reebok jerseys, and you're gonna call me a fake fan? Oh, please.
Get their ass, AJ.
Exactly. So you're telling me that, oh, how dare you disgrace Andy Reid? You're telling me in the Super Bowl that him calling timeout and you had them score again wasn't a nail in the coffin for that game? Really? Mm-hmm. Because guess what? The second half sucked. It wasn't entertaining. That last touchdown at the end of the second quarter when he called timeout and didn't let the clock run out. I question that, and I'm a dick.
Yeah.
Why?
It's crazy.
I'll review this again, but guess what? The Chiefs fans hate me because I'm optimistic. Same thing with the Yankee fans. Think about it. Half of my fan bases hate me.
Yankee fans are a different breed, bro. I don't even want to get into Yankee fans because Yankees are actually no. I love the Yankees. Russell Wilson is a Yankee. I love the Yankees.
Yes.
He was. That's a dark point. That's when Russell Wilson started turning to the dark side.
I remember still.
Technically, though, the team still has his rights, and no one has picked up those
so he's
rights.
still technically. I remember
he's
freshman
still
year.
Technically part of the empire. Yeah.
I remember freshman year. I was taking a biology test, and I might have accidentally on my Chromebook pulled up the Yankees spring training game to watch Russell Wilson's at bat. Accidentally.
The fact that he had an at bat, I was shocked actually.
Yeah, it was awesome. I remember 440-foot bomb over center field.
And just like that, Russell Wilson retired from football.
Yeah. I actually was like, dude, if he actually goes crazy, like, he might. No, I'm just kidding. But,
So I think that's the best way to end it. And just remember this. And I think this goes with every fan base. Let me just say this. And Sam, I think you will have this one locked in your head for a while. There is a certain time where it is okay to question your fan base or your team. If a team relocates, it's okay to jump ship. and there's only a certain amount of pain a man or a woman or a child can take before they jump ship. That could be a Maple Leaf fan. That could be a Raider fan. Well, dangerous waters, but still.
So you're telling me when the Bears go to Decatur, I can become a Packers fan? No, I'm just kidding. I completely take that back.
Right.
I completely take
There
that
is a time where it is okay with reason. We're educated. We have all the tools that you can question and even jump ship, given if the time is right. Case by case, though.
Thank you, Grandmaster Adrian.
Guys, this is Doh The Pain. We've discussed a lot of it. And please, everybody, if you see something, say something. And please all be in good health. Because this certainly isn't, I'm not sure if this is a stress reliever or a reenactment.
I want to punch a wall right now, AJ.
I'm like
Well,
simmering.
you see, the thing is, as a maintenance man, I'll just say this. Why do people punch the wall if they don't know how to replace it or fix the wall?
I've replaced a wall before, I think.
Poster.
I've broken a lot of PlayStation controllers. That's just
I
me,
think
but I break.
think is not an answer. You can't fix the PlayStation controller, so that's not an answer.
I think I'm on my 4th PlayStation controller at this point. Yeah.
Damn boy, you need help.
Maybe if the Seahawks would give me less stress, if they ran the ball,
You're
maybe
in,
I'd be a happier
you're in
person.
constant playoff contention. Don't give me that shit.
A billionaire living in a mansion if the Seahawks.
Yes.
won
I
the
would
Super Bowl.
not be a simp if the Seahawks were to win that Super Bowl.
I don't know, Mike.
Maybe that's a little pushing it, but you get my point.
Like I said, man, I think you could get a lady if you wanted it, but I just don't think you want to try.
No, not until the Seahawks are not stupid again, and they run the ball at the goal line. Rashad Penny.
So you're not going to be getting late on payday in a couple of years then.
Listen, Rashad Penny, we're at the 1 yard line against the Chiefs. Super Bowl winning touchdown. Marshawn Lynch in the crowd. End it right there. That's the best way to end the episode. Boom.
Doh The Pain. We'll see you next time.
Rashad Penny.